Big breaking news. Officials are now warning to not drink the water. Do not drink this poisoned and contaminated water. The EPA is still saying, hey, go for it. The federal government is saying, go for it. But the governor of Ohio knows that his butt's on the line. He knows that the people in Ohio are going to come for him if something happens. They're going to vote him out. All right. And he is telling people, do not drink this water. Only drink bottled water. All right. This is very serious that this is happening. This is affecting tens of millions of people that are within the Ohio River watershed. You could see here the Ohio River actually flows all the way into the Mississippi River and goes all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. So there are potentially around 10 states here that are at risk of their water supply being contaminated. And lots of these states actually draw water from these rivers, and it contaminates the water basins around them as well. That's why, really quick, I had to bust out my straw here. All right, you need to get one of these Sawyer Mini Life Straw. See, it's got the little straw. You get a little drink right there. All right, this can filter 10,000 gallons. I'm sorry. I always say 10,000 because the number is so insane. 100,000 gallons. 100,000 gallons right there. It's probably $20. I don't know. I bought this years ago. I just have a few of them stocked up in my preps, and I've tested them out a few times. I don't know what they are now. Maybe they're $30 or $40, but 100,000 gallons, 100,000 gallons, and you can drink it right there. Stick that straw right in the water, and you can drink it, and you will not be drinking vinyl chloride. This is what's spilled. All right, vinyl chloride is what's spilled, and it can cause brain cancer, lung cancer, lymphoma, leukemia, liver cancer. All right, all these sarcoma. All these different things can be caused by vinyl chloride. And this is on cancer.gov. Cancer.gov. They put out this article just a few months ago. So you should also have a life straw. All right. And there's no link down below. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. This is just stuff I've had forever. And I wanted to show it off and be like, hey, get this stuff. Oh, it's even dripping a little water. Because I've used this before. I've tested this out before. I've drank dirty pond water. Whatever, you can't really drink salt water with it, all right? But any kind of water from a river, any freshwater source, even if it's contaminated, you can drink it. It has bacteria, whatever, you can drink it. This one's called a Life Straw. It's a little bit cheaper, doesn't filter as many gallons of water, but still very effective, all right? And the government does not care. The EPA is saying it's safe. Look, Ohio governor advises drinking bottled water despite officials saying water testing okay so far. It's okay. It's all good. It's all gravy. Don't worry about it. We've seen this time after time. I brought up yesterday how there was a chemical plant explosion in Illinois and right outside Chicago a couple weeks ago, and nobody's talking about it. 1 million gallons of toxic chemicals were dumped onto the ground and into the atmosphere, all right? And also, states around Ohio are now starting to declare states of emergency. So even West Virginia is now declaring a state of emergency from this event because their water table is being affected. All right, this water seeps into the ground. It affects all the neighboring regions, and it's also affecting their air. People are just breathing in these toxic chemicals that are burning. But the main thing is the water system. I've said this before, but this is critical. This is a critical point. I've lived in a very heavily farmed area with orange groves, and they use this very toxic nematode repellent, all right, nematode killer. I'm not sure exactly what it did, but it was for nematodes, and it was extremely toxic, and it's still in the soil 50 years later. And to have a well in this area, you have to have a special filter on your well to get water out of this area because the toxic chemicals are still infecting the area, right? And the government, it's so bad the government even gives you a grant to put this filter on your well. You literally have to have it by law, and the government will just give you money to put this filter on your well, so you can just live here in this contaminated area. And I was farming here. There's farms all around here, or in that area. There was orange groves all over. All right, so that the farmland is still infected, still contaminated. All right, how long is this soil and this water table going to be contaminated? Is this what they're going to do? They're just going to be like, hey, here's your little subsidy. I saw that the company, Norfolk Southern, this rail company, they were only offering the whole town $25,000. The whole town, $25,000. Wow, for this entire emergency. How long is this stuff going to be in the soil for? How long is it going to be infected and contaminated for? I'm telling you, this nematode stuff was 50 years ago, and I still have to have a filter on it. And I was still worried about using this water, honestly. I was still just like, all right, this water's probably still contaminated, still kind of sketchy. And the people in this region are going to be dealing with it. It's right outside Pittsburgh as well. So the people in this area are going to be dealing with it. And the water table's huge. There's massive aquifers and massive underwater rivers and streams and things like that under the ground, underground rivers and streams. I meant to say underground. That's where we get a lot of our water from wells and things like this, tapping into underwater rivers, underwater aquifers, underwater sources. They are all going to be contaminated for decades with this cancer-causing chemical. You should also have HEPA filters on your AC and your air conditioning. You can just put it on like a normal air filter for your AC, but you can get HEPA filters and carbon filters. You can even get them combined, all right, multi-layered. So all the contaminants, all the particulate, all the bad stuff would be filtered out of your air as well, because there are animals dropping dead in this area. Chickens are dropping dead. People are posting all over TikTok, all over Twitter, all over Instagram, little videos of like, hey, my chickens were fine yesterday. Now they are dead, drop dead. My dozen chickens that I've had for years all die at the same exact time. And it's probably from this gas release. I actually used to have guinea pigs, okay? And I understand farmers need pesticide. I've defended the use of pesticides before. I understand. Personally, I want to eat all organic. I like growing organic. I like growing my own food. But I used to have these guinea pigs, all right, just for my kids. They liked playing with them. And they were outside all the time, and they both died like at the same time too. It was very weird, within like a few days of each other. And they were outside all the time, and they were constantly spraying very toxic pesticides in this region because they were trying to combat the greening disease. So they have to heavily spray pesticides, herbicides, all this stuff on the orange groves. And I was even thinking maybe these little guinea pigs were poisoned, all right? They would eat grass all over the yard too, because guinea pigs eat grass, eat hay and grass. I was thinking, hey, maybe they were poisoned because they were a few years apart, and they both died days, and they were both young, right? And they both died days within each other. And I'm lucky nothing happened to my chickens, because birds, reptiles are very susceptible to these toxic chemicals that we produce, all right? So make sure you guys are getting prepared. And if you are in this region, do everything you can to get out. I know it's one of those things where you really can't, right? There's really not much you can do when you are trapped here. You have to go to work tomorrow. Your work's like, hey, come in tomorrow. Like, we're still going. I understand. But it's one of these things. This could be a Chernobyl event. This could be a black mark on a history. Be like, oh yeah, that East Palestine event. And just the name of it, everything. It's so weird. That movie that came out. All right, remember I was talking about that movie about this event? The whole thing seems like a psyop or like a simulation or something. Like they're really putting it in our face. the names of everything. Everything is so suspicious and weird. There was a movie made about it called White Noise. All of it's just so strange, so weird. It feels like a massive psyop. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that like. Please hit the thumbs up. Please hit those comments. Please hit the sub and the bell if you want to get notified for videos every single day. Please sign up for my email list. And please go follow me on Twitter as well, just in case anything ever happened to me. I had a video get removed last week, and I got a big warning sign on my channel, all this stuff. So just go follow me on there just in case. I'm posting little clips and keeping you updated on the news on there too. So thank you guys so much, and you have a big old blessed day.